I have a bold prediction for this one. I've got Dustin Poirier by KO. I know my guy Will over here disagrees with me on this, so I'm going to shoot it his way and see his thoughts on it.
Yeah, man. So I've got a different opinion on this fight than you, and I'll start off by saying this. I went back and forth on this fight since the day that it was announced. As soon as it was announced, I had Benoit Saint Denis. I was just buying into the hype and the recency bias. He was just coming off of that big head kick KO, and I think that I was buying into it a little bit too much. But then I started to think about it. I put on my analytical glasses and I said, you know what? Let's really think about this and break it down. And after a lot of number crunching and film watching, I came to the conclusion that I was buying into the hype. As the time went on and we got closer to this week, 2-fight week, I started thinking about it again. I said, no, let's get a little deeper. Let's think about this and take a deeper dive. And the more I thought about it again, I said Dustin Poirier is just not going to be able to keep up. So I changed my pick back to Benoit Saint Denis, and that's where it brings me. I think that Benoit Saint Denis is one of the scariest guys in the lightweight division. He's a nightmare matchup for Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier is 35 years old right now. It seems like he's kind of got one foot in the door, one foot out. He's not fully committed to being a mixed martial artist at times. You know, you listen to him in interviews, he just doesn't seem like he's got it the same way that he used to have it before the Conor McGregor fights. And I think that that is a big mistake to make in a fight with a guy like BSD, who is a young, hungry, scary contender who just wants to be champion. He truly believes that he's the best in the world. And I think that he's going to maul Dustin Poirier this week. I think that a big thing that I'm looking for in BSD's performance, he's got wicked body kicks, right? He has some insane power. And I think that he's going to use that power early on. I think he's going to utilize those body kicks early on in the first round of the fight to soften up the body of Dustin Poirier. He's going to incorporate leg kicks and get him softened up nice, and then he's going to shoot the takedown. Round 2, round 3, I think he's going to drown Dustin Poirier. I think he gets this one done by submission in the late 3rd round. What about you, Joey?
Yeah, I hear you, and I agree with a lot of things you were saying there, especially with this being such a close fight and tough fight to predict. I mean, personally, it's probably the toughest fight on the card for me to predict, so I definitely get it. I can see an argument for both sides on this one, and I get it. BSD, the younger, hungry kind of, he's newer to the UFC, and you can tell the UFC is really kind of pushing him up as well, as they could see him being a title contender, maybe a title holder one day. So it's in the cards for him for sure, but it's just Dustin Poirier, man, the diamond. It's tough for me to bet against a guy like that. I know BSD, he started training MMA like 6 so years ago. He's obviously a special forces soldier and all of that, so he's got the mindset for it. He's definitely a special kind of guy when it comes to that. He's a killer when he walks into the cage, 100%. But I think there's a lifetime of experience that Poirier has, and has fighting the top guys card after card that he's on. He's never settling for an easy fight. He's always going after the toughest, scariest guys, just like in this fight. And I really just see the diamond getting it done. I see him getting it done via KO. I think they're going to get in some boxing exchanges, and I think Poirier's just going to be too crisp for him, too quick for him, too strong for him. And I think he's going to put his lights out, and it's going to kind of slow down some of that hype train for BSD, and maybe a great learning experience for BSD. And maybe down the road takes this loss as an opportunity to learn some things, work on his game, and maybe down the road gets his back into the title contention. But right now, I've got to ride with my guy Dustin Poirier. It's hard for me not to be betting with Poirier, especially with those underdog odds. I think I'm riding with him.